Why do you think Porzingis has been around this league for a while. Why do you think he got even? I mean, they have a term, altercation escalator. There's I was joking, in baseball, you can run in from the dugout. Nobody cares. In football, hockey, you let guys fight. In basketball, Rick, since the Malice in the Palace, that feels like the point the league said, none of this. You can't even get involved in this stuff. Why do you think he went into that little huddle of that skirmish?
Kristaps has a reputation for being soft, and no one thinks that more than the Morris twins in particular and the Clippers in general. So this is Porzingis' first time in the playoffs, and he wanted to make a point. Hey, I'm not soft. Watch, I'm going to step in and I'm going to take up for my teammate Luka, and he picked the wrong time and honestly the wrong way to demonstrate that he's tough. Because the fact of the matter is, simply the way he's physically built, you can wear him down and you can wear him out by being physical with him in the game. He doesn't really have an alternative to that. So this was his way of trying to make a statement, and it backfired on him.
Yeah. The Mavs, 4 times this year, the Mavericks had more turnovers than assists, and two of them are against the Clippers. And, I could point to Luka and say, well, he's the point guard. He controls the tempo. Why don't you think they're better late in games? They're a bad, close game team in Dallas.
Well, this is, I believe, it is on Luka. And it is the question. And it's the reason why I thought he should be the number 1 pick. I believe that he was the best in the draft. But in terms of making him your franchise player as a point forward, and that's really what he is. We're calling him a point guard, but he can't defend point guards. You got to switch him off on a big. He's playing the point forward position, and that is the most talented position in the game today. With LeBron and Kawhi and KD and Giannis, they're all considered point forwards. And the question was, physically, can he dominate? He's a very clever player.
Yes.
But you can force him to extend his game against the best of the best when he has to go up against a Kawhi or a LeBron or a Giannis. You can make the game hard on him, and you can see where he's trying to get to the same places, but he has to extend himself to get there, and that's what's created the turnover. So some of the question about can he be physically dominant? We already know he has the talent and the experience, but he's always been a clever player, not a physically dominant player, and he's being tested by the best of the best at his position, and we'll see where that goes. Because the other thing that I've noticed is he's always banged up. He's got to extend himself and exert himself so much to make up for that physical deficiency that he's constantly getting knocked down or banged around. And you already heard Rick Carlisle singing that song to the referees that he's being played too physically tough and manhandled. Hey, this is the playoffs, and this is the way people are going to play Luka. And we'll see if he can make an adjustment to it.
Yeah, by the way, I don't want to hear from any NBA fans about the fouls. My entire 40 years of watching the NBA, it's officiated differently in the playoffs. Referees get out of the way, and they let you be more physical if you can't adapt to it as a young team. Last year, Toronto got very physical. They had a lot of veteran players. That's the secret sauce. Now, here's what's interesting, Lakers-Clippers. And you got to be careful about this. There's 2 or 3 things that have happened in the bubble. We've seen a bunch of young stars emerge. Michael Porter was unbelievable. Ja Morant. So that's one of the things. The other thing we saw in the bubble is I don't know how much Milwaukee, the Lakers, and the Clippers cared. So I watched the Lakers in the regular season.
Yeah.
And then I watched the Lakers in the bubble. And my thing is, are these real Laker problems, or is this bubble apathy Laker? What is it?
I'm right there with you, Colin, but I don't have the answer, and I'm not totally sold on the idea that it's pure apathy because of the age of this team.
Yeah.
And because chemistry was such an important part, and because the shooting has been so bad. Look, their defense has been atrocious, and I could credit that to apathy. But when you're missing wide open threes, when Danny Green can't hit a three, That to me raises the question, is it just harder for them to get their engines going?
Yeah.
And have they not been able to do that? And that synchronicity that they found during the regular season, are they having trouble getting back to that in spite of the secret workouts in LeBron James's laboratory during the shutdown? Oh, we weren't supposed to talk about that. I'm sorry. Forgot I said that. No, but so look, when it comes to that whole Lakers-Blazers matchup, the Blazers are going to be what the Blazers are, and they can score. They can't defend. And so if the Lakers can't shoot from three and they're playing defense as atrociously as they have,
yeah,
and it's not apathy, then the Blazers can win that series. If the Lakers get back, if this was just apathy or, we're just rolling into it because we didn't have a whole lot to play for, then this is not going to be a long series. But I honestly, until I see the Lakers play, I'll be very interested to watch this first game. That will tell us a lot about whether this was just the Lakers just laying it down until it mattered, or whether there's a real issue here in terms of them getting their engine started again.
Okay, so sports change, analytics change. And like in the NFL, almost everybody outside of the Colts and Phillip Rivers wants a quarterback. You can move the pocket. We're looking for quarterbacks who can really, the game is changing. You can't hit a quarterback. Let's get athletic guys. In basketball, I grew up in a world of bigs. But you start adding up all the big playoff wins for Embiid and Karl Anthony Towns and some of the bigs around the NBA. And I'm like,
Nikola Jokic hasn't done enough yet.
How about Anthony Davis? Like, where are all the wins? So I watched Embiid and the Celtics last night, and my takeaway is this is why bigs turn me off. He didn't get shots. They didn't have the distributor to get him the ball. This is why I would trade Embiid and not Simmons. Simmons controls the tempo, controls distribution, controls the game, can get the ball to three-point shooters. Embiid last night is sitting there, hello, best player on the floor. They can't get him the ball. I mean, this is why I don't think it's a center league anymore. It's just too fast. Your takeaway.
Yeah, I believe, first of all, you can't simply have just a big, because in need situations, somebody has to be able to get him the ball, and you can make it difficult for a team to get the ball to their best player if it is indeed a center or a big. But I'm not giving Embiid the out on that, because you saw him at the beginning of this game. He was dominant. The dude is not in shape. I don't know that he's ever been in shape. And he didn't get the ball because he didn't want the ball. Look, there's a body language for guys who are demanding the ball. Shaquille O'Neal wanted the ball, and you were in trouble if you didn't get it to him. So I'm not giving Embiid that out. The trick for teams right now with bigs is you still need big men. You need rim protectors, but they have to be agile and they have to be in shape. And they have to have the skills of a smaller player. Embiid has that. He can shoot the three. He can put the ball on the floor. He just can't do it beyond 20, 25 minutes, and he certainly can't do it in the last 5. But I've never seen him in great shape. Yeah. And so that's my question, because Ben Simmons is not exactly a dominant guy in the last couple of minutes of the game either. And that's the Achilles heel of this Philadelphia team, is you have two great talents that should be able to dominate their position, but for one reason or another, they can't and they haven't. And I don't see that changing. So that's the key is, whoever your best player is, you better hope or better know that they are going to be your hardest worker, and that you can count on them in the last 2 minutes of a game. It's the distinction between them and Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard doesn't have the physical advantage that Embiid or Ben Simmons have, but he's going to be in shape. He's going to be fearless at the end, and he's found a way to maximize what he can do physically in order to lead his team. And that makes all the difference in the world.
So our NBA playoffs are underway. It's a whole lot of fun. It was great yesterday afternoon and night. Ric Bucher, good talking to you, buddy.
You got it, Colin.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.